Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a best of 3 between in the top right spawning as our red Zerg player playing for the gaming gladiators. It's Shin. I'm sorry, I didn't make that name. I just have to read it out loud. In the bottom left, playing for Team Liquid, we have Kior here, the blue colors. Yeah, what a freaking nickname that is, huh? Or what a team name. The gaming gladiators. They even misspelled gaming. I think on purpose, I hope. Otherwise it would be a pretty dumb error. G-A-I-M-I-N. And then a space and gladiators. I'm not sure what that word means, but I'm sure it has a very deep meaning, or it's an inside joke. It's one hell of a team name. That's all I'm going to say about that. So we see Cure here. Starting up with what is this going to be? What do we have on our hands? Is that a triple CC? See a second gas coming down before the Hellions start. I'm getting an extremely strong vibe here. And we're feeling the vibes. We're feeling the vibes. And this is feeling to me like it's going to be somewhat of a Banshee start here. We got that tech lab coming in as well. We have 2 Marines that are out. Yeah, Curious are looking for an Overlord that right now is already idling here on the left side. Shin, however, decided to go for a bit of aggression. Quick speed. That's 12, 14, 16. How many? There's a lot of links. There's 14 links over there. There's still 2 links at home then. Yeah, there we go. He's gonna jump in right away. Tries to catch these Hellions. Is actually gonna catch them as well. He's gonna catch some of these Hellions, although not sure if he's the catcher or the one that's being caught here. 3, 4, 5 SCVs might end up falling. 4 SCVs go down. Hellions stay alive. 2 Marines end up falling too. Is this worth it though for Shin, who's lost a bit of money with it? It's also forced units or SCVs to pull off the mineral line. And another bonus whenever you do something like this is that it becomes very tricky for Cure to walk across the map because he's afraid of another attack, of another counter attack. So we only see 2 Hellions now making their way across the map. And I think Cure is going to at all times keep 2 Hellions at home. We have 2 more links that are now running in. Will not get a kill here. These 4 Hellions just kind of defensive. We have a single one moving towards the left side, trying to gather a little bit of information. More and more links on the way. Do we have any spores quite yet? No, we don't. That could actually be quite impactful as this Cloak Banshee, well, for now Cloakless Banshee is moving across the map. Cloak is halfway done. And just now the spores are actually starting. 4 minutes, 50 seconds in. Here comes the Banshee. It's going to get spotted by this Overlord. And thus we can expect a response here out of Shin. And the response is rapid. Drone gets pulled back. Queens move in position to deal with it. There's 2 queens in the main base. We have 1 queen in the natural. We have a bunch of queens that are chilling at the third. This is going to get stopped as the layer starts as well. Shin here is preparing in many ways to deal with the incoming threat. Double E-base. Double barracks. With Banshees, you don't actually have to kill a whole lot. But it's nice if you get some. It's kind of like having you know when you used to play pinball? And then you get like the extra ball, you know? You don't necessarily need to do a whole lot with the extra ball. Because, you know, it is extra. And it's kind of what the Banshees feel like. Like they have their own purpose. Even if they don't get like 12 worker kills. But if you play the extra ball very well. It's the same with the Banshees. If you play them very well. You can basically just straight up win the game with them. If your opponent messes up in the defense a little bit. Here we go. Pre-cloaks. It's going to fly in, but there's 2 queens in position. It's not going to get anything here. Worker count 52 to 62. Cure still can use these to maybe shoot at a fort base over here. Or he can try and do something else with these Banshees. Maybe later on to defend against run-bys. It's going to jump in one more time. This time at the 3rd base. And it's going to take out 3 drones. Pretty much at the same time. Triple creep tumors being taken out. Hellion still on the top side of the map, making sure that there's no run-by available. Single car in the middle. Loving this setup here for Cure, who has complete control. Control the right side with the Banshees. Control the middle with a single Hellion. Control the left side with the 5 Hellions. So he knows there's no possibility that there's going to be links pushing in to his natural or his 3rd base. Now we see Shin just sending a lot of dudes across the map. Ooh, actually gonna try and clear this middle portion. It's also where the Banshees are gonna be moving, so that's gonna get denied. Look at that. Hellions immediately jumping into action. Wants to catch these links. Shin, however, it's gonna be quick enough here. Ooh, might actually get the surround on these cars. No, he won't. A couple of links do end up falling as the first double drop is now being sent out. This is a fairly late double drop. At the same time, Cure's not paying attention. A blunder of a significant proportion here. Very much so. Significant blunder out of Cure. Oh. What a huge mistake here. Losing that first Banshee. 2 Banshees are so much stronger than just a single one. You can always do like a late attack onto like a drone line or something, or you can clear creep at a much higher pace. Now this one will need to go back home, will need to be repaired. I'm very curious to see what the follow-up. Oh my god, it's going to be an Atrax. Of course it's going to be an Atrax. We're playing on Alcyone. Phenomenal Atrax map. Banshee is going to move towards the top side. It's going to control this area now. 147 supply to 147 supply. Timings that are key to look for are the upgrade timings. How much of a window is there once 2-2 finishes? And right now, this is 30 seconds in. This needs another 15 seconds. Oh, it's actually going to be pretty significant, isn't it? It's going to be like a 45-second gap in which Cure is going to have 2-2. And Shin will just barely have, but just have 1-1. And every second that Shin delays his 2-2 upgrades here is going to be a terrible second for him. Not a huge fan of Cure moving out on the map this early with all of his tanks. I think he can move way slower. Way slower. Right now he's still kind of on creep. He's moving across at such a high pace. Creep hasn't even receded yet. Tanks are moving in position. What do we have on the left side? We still have the Banshee here that's going to control this run by. Do we still have Hellions remaining? No, we have 5 Helbets in the push. Couple of Marines, well, couple. Bunch of Marines are going to be kept at home to deal with this run by. Run by is going to get stopped. Once again, I feel like Cure is moving forward at a very high pace. I'm not quite sure what to think of that. How is Shin going to respond to all of this? He's getting Hydras. He has the Baneling speed. He's going to come from multiple angles here and tries to get a clear some of these Marines on the far right. For now, the upgrades are still 1-1 versus 1-1. And that's okay for Shin. Ideally, Shin fights with a very high Baneling count, with an angle in which he can come from basically like 180 degrees or so. He's gonna go already. This feels fairly early. This feels fairly early indeed. It's not very well synchronized, but the Banelings on the top side here are gonna get some big connections. A lot of Banes still remaining, and an absolute key factor here is the fact that a bunch of tanks ended up falling. Actually, just a single one, never mind. That is also a key fact that only a single one died. I thought more had died. Oh wow, he only loses 1, and now 2-2 is gonna finish. Baneling count is still at 14 with 13 more on the way. Worker count hasn't been touched yet, and there are 5 bases. Shin once again is gonna move in. This time it is 2-2 versus 1-1. First tank goes down. Second tank will go down on the left, and the right side tank is also gonna fall. I think it's time to pull back here for Shin. He stays maybe even a little bit too long already at this point. More Banes are rolling forward. Without any tank support, it could be hard to deal with it. Upgrade lead is still here for Cure and will remain for a little longer, as a lot of his Marines are fairly damaged. Now he's lost all of his tanks for sure. He's trying to build a forward base, so he can potentially still transition into somewhat of a... not sure if we can call it a macro game, but I guess yes, somewhat of a macro game. Marine count is phenomenal. Damage output here is going to be good. No +2 carapace quite yet. I think Shin is over-defending this base. Yes, it would be great to hold it, but it would be even greater to fight with +2 carapace. It's so key to hold that. Great run by here, picking up reinforcements, by the way. This is some phenomenal movement out of the nickname changer here. Shin, of course, used to be called Ragnarok. Well, one of the few players that has changed names. We'll need to set another run by up here, I think, to deal with some of these reinforcements. Because this... it feels so hard if there are tanks in position and there's no creep. Like, you're not winning the longer the game goes. I don't think you're... even if you're mining a whole lot more than your opponent. As here comes the attack from 2 sides. It is a well set up battle. First tank goes down, second tank falls. Is the Baneling count still high enough? I think it might just be. The Banelings move in forward. Medivacs try to pick up. 1 Medivac extra will fall. 5 Medivacs remain. The full one with 10 HP was absolutely huge that that stayed alive. Hive is now on the way as well for Shin. Shin has managed to keep his 5th base alive, which is nice. Upgrades are even. Baneling count once again growing. And the tank count being just at 1 right now. It's just an issue. It is an absolute problem. Forward base is flying over towards the left. Cure potentially looking to really turn this into a banger of a late game. Adds another factory, and I think this is probably a little bit late already for that factory. I think that could have been much quicker here for him. Don't forget, Cure's going to get another upgrade lead timing, as it's going to have about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes on 3-3 versus 2-2. That is, of course, if Shin lets it get that far. Shin might be eyeing a bit of a timing here. Not entirely sure if he can do that. Here come the Medivacs flying into a Spore. Not quite what you want to do in life. Spore Fire could definitely have cleared one of these Medivacs, but Shin paying attention to other more important things. Gonna see a full-on pickup here on these Medivacs. There's really no other way to go around it. 177 supply to 164. I actually think Cure is still just winning. Cure can max out. He can wait for 3-3. He has the drop on the right side set up as well. He has plenty of Medivacs. He has 10 total. Oh my god, he fell asleep. Asleep at the wheel. And a couple of drinks in. Oh no, Cure. This is not what we're allowed to do. That is not okay, buddy. That was very sloppy control, and he once again tries to move on creep here. Kind of losing a bit of momentum there, which super sucks for him, because his 3-3 was about to finish up. If he could have set up for a 3-3 timing, and he has an army on the right side, I'm having a very difficult time seeing how Shin is planning on holding this left side base, given that there's only like 3 or 4 creep tumors as well. Good snipes on those banelings, by the way. He's going to get 2 of them. Still 2 remaining. Cure turns around, wants to get him. Scan in forward. We have another stim. Isn't gonna really do anything whatsoever here. Moving forward. Ooh. Medivacs boost towards the middle of the map. Ling Hydra moving towards the top side of the map as well. Cure feels like he's in a massive lead at this point. A very odd position. Because he's so marine heavy. It's 71 marines, 0 marauders, 4 tanks, and 3 ghosts. So if these banelings ever get connections, if you get like a surround with banelings, this could be great. If you have like 45 banes total. But if this is off creep and there's not enough banelings, boy, this is going to be painful. Here come the Vipers with the blinding clouds. And now here comes the hold out of Shin. Is it going to be good enough? There's still 2 tanks actively shooting. Oh my god, the Marines with the 3-3 just ripping through those banelings. And I think that honestly, it's going to be extremely hard now for Shin. Shin just doesn't have the army supply. There's still 4 tanks remaining. I think the Vipers have disappeared back home to gather a little bit of that energy. These tanks aren't even sieged at this moment. And yeah, there we go. Another stim in forward. 3-3 Marines are just absolutely owning this. Absolutely owning this. Worker supply getting closer and closer. Cure does need to be careful that he doesn't get too aggressive. But no, GG gets called as Cure takes game number 1. Whenever I watch Cure games, like the one we watched just now, I see a guy that has very solid overall mechanics, like good macro, just like okay micro, the decision making is fine. But then there's a couple of moments in every single game where you just kind of have to look away. You're just like, oh, that's not pretty. Like we had a couple of baneling hits where you look at that, and if you've only been watching like Clam or Maru, it's like these types of baneling hits, they feel new, you know. It's like, oh, I haven't seen that in a while. That's wild. And the way that he lost one Banshee in the middle of the map, like that, this type of stuff I expect to see in, you know, in high level games still, but not of the very top tier players. And it always kind of stops me from rating Cure as one of the very top guys, because he just has a lot of moments in the game where you look, or a couple each game. It's not like he has 15, but a couple moments in the game where it's like, oh, that wasn't good. Like, not a bad decision. It's just, oh, it's just too slow, or oh, that micro just wasn't it. You know, there's like there's something still missing, and you can kind of feel it, and it's very odd. I can't really pinpoint it on one thing either. It might be speed, it might be a little bit of micro as well. Like he's obviously not as clean as sniping the banelings, but then it feels like he often just makes up with it with just good understanding of what needs to be done in a game, and just amazing understanding of what his position is in a game as well. Just like the last fight, like the aggressiveness at which he moved forward far and deeply onto creep, like in the last 15 seconds of that game. I find that type of stuff really impressive. But yeah, he still misses like a little bit of the X factor, basically, is what we could call it. Like the tiny last bit for him to truly propel to like a top 5 or a top 3 position in the world. Because I think he's a solid top 10er. You know, he belongs in the top 10 of StarCraft 2 right now, the current player pool. But yeah, he's not above that. He's not a top 5er. He's not a top 3er. I don't believe it, at least. Not yet. Maybe in the future. We have seen him at some pretty powerful peaks, especially in the TVP matchup. At some point, I really believed he was the best in the world. About maybe a year ago or so. Like a phenomenal streak all around. And it makes sense because TVP tends to be a little bit less macro-oriented, a little bit, or micro-oriented, and a little bit more decision-making based. It's really a lot about decisions and army movement, and he seems to be phenomenal at that. So, gonna see what's going to happen here. Shin is opening up with a Sender 3 hatch. Nothing weird going on. Splitting his Overlord. Boom-pidum. Sees the fast 3rd CC, which is good information to have. I mean, if you can get it, you might as well. We have a lot of Overlords on the way here, though. 3 Overlords, all at once. Is that suspicious? I don't even know if that's suspicious. It's something, though. We have a lair coming in, too, which is fairly quick. What are these 3 Overlords for? Because we also have a hatch about to finish up. Look at that supply. 52 out of a 68. Another Overlord coming in. Banshee being popped out. So same build order here for Cure, pretty much. Likes to play it stable, likes to play it clean. Same old, same old. That's what he's here for. Not gonna get cloak though this time, look at that. Skipping the cloak. Could be 2 reasons for that. One, he wants lower Hellion count, and then can build like a reactor with this. Or he could go for a Raven behind it. Or a Viking, which would be really wild. I'm almost feeling a Raven here. This is a... Oh, no, he's just gonna move away. Yeah, I was gonna say, why would... Sorry, this didn't make sense because he was building a reactor with the factory. So if you're only getting a single starport unit, you're obviously gonna build a reactor with the starport so they can start a faster tank here. And you have a more powerful tank push. Ooh! Shin with a knife. What is this? Does this not reach? This is the spot, right? Shin did some research on this. Okay, see where they take the refinery? This is like a depot position too. And then here's the Nydus. Oh, that's beautiful. That is just beautiful. That is legitimately beautiful. Banshee is at home. It's going to provide quite a bit of damage. Ooh, Starboard's gonna fly over. It's not gonna spot it. I don't believe it. Ooh, this barracks, is that gonna see it? If the SCV moves to the far left here? Is that enough to spot it? I don't think so. Oh, and it doesn't, so it doesn't even matter. It's gonna finish up right now. Here come the Lynx over into the 3rd base. At the same time, he tried to go in towards the natural. Lynx hitting the main. New Nydus worm coming up over here. A bunch of workers already going down. Knock, knock, knocking on the depot door here as well. Is there an overseer with it? No, but it's not necessary because this Banshee does not have cloak. You have more and more Lynx on the way. 33 drones against 47. That's gonna change relatively quickly. The first tank isn't even out yet here. 3 aliens still remaining. Hold position. Micro needs to be good, but we're actually A-moving with these SCVs, which is a suboptimal play. Hold position here would have been much better with this much damage behind it, for sure. Now the SCVs need to be attacking. Now they need to be fighting against the Queen's Lynx coming from the top side. This is not the fight that Cure was hoping for. Shin actually spine rushing with this as well, which I have never seen at a high level. He's going for it, and these bad boys are going to finish as well. I don't think it's going to matter, though. Well, maybe it will. More Lynx coming out. We still have 6 Queens as well. More could come out. Lynx still hitting the door as well. That's going to cost him a bit in repairing, as the first spines are now going to finish up. I've never seen this before. All right. It's not really a spine rush, but we still count it as a win for the spine rushers here, as Shin's going to tie up the series with a 1-1 score. Map number 3 here on Dynasty. Out of all the maps that could have been picked, we went for Dynasty apparently. Shin with a gold first base, as well as the rich Vespine geyser as his initial gas. Potentially as his initial. I mean, if he's gonna take a gas, I hope he's gonna take that gas. Otherwise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The extractor trick. Gonna see a relatively quick pool here as well. It's the only thing that makes sense at this point. Got that drone, got the pool coming in. Barracks into gas. It would have been sick if there would have been like a double proxy Rex here right now. I don't think it's defendable in that case. So you're just going to straight up lose the hatch. And against a 2-Rex proxy, that would actually be enough here for Cure as well to take a significant lead. Of course, that's not what we're seeing. Cure actually in a weird spot with his barracks. I don't know why that is. I've never quite seen something like this either. Like, why are we building in this particular location? That is very odd to me. That is very, very odd to me indeed. Gonna build a CC here. In position right away. Poof. Gold base versus gold base. But Shin, of course, gonna be mining a little bit faster. Has the full run around with these 7 drones, sorry. Counting's never been my strong suit. One of them instantly is gonna build this Ridfest Beam Geyser. And I'm expecting some fat drone building over here. And I'm really curious if this is going to be like a 2-base all-in with a fake 3rd, or if this is going to be an actual macro game from here on out, which is technically possible. I mean, I'm not against it. Wow. Wow. This is bad news for Cure, isn't it? It's gonna go for a 2-Rex. I could be wrong on this. Drone goes down. It's actually a big deal. This is not great either. But I think if the bases are split, having Hellions would be phenomenal, right? To me, that sounds correct at least. Oh my god, a second drone. Terrible start here for Ragnarok. Absolutely, yeah, garbage tier. Awful, awful stuff. Losing 2 drones, losing a bunch of mining time. It's a poor defense all around. Lost 2 of his links as well. Now Cure gets to scout the lack of a 3rd. This is not good. This is not good. Gonna get a bunker right on the high ground. We have this as a follow-up. Is he gonna go for a tech lab now? Does he have the guts to go for the starport first? I think he's gonna go for the starport first. Yep, there comes the worker. Starport first into a reactor. Despite fully scouting what this is. You see a lack of a 3rd base, and this is what you go for? That's ballsy. It is very ballsy. 2 depots are obviously vulnerable. Your marine count is gonna suck still at this point. So you're gonna need to kind of pre-build depots already. Something that I think Shin should do is send a single roach here. That would be such a powerful move to deny some of that mining. Shin, of course, is not aware exactly what he's playing against, but now should have a decent clue. A single roach here would be huge. Would be so big when it comes to mining denial. It would be so freaking big. I can't stress it enough. I think this is a massive blunder here out of him. Like really a massive blunder. Oh. Gonna hit some big piles over here. Yeah, now he's gonna send this roach around, but this is like 30 seconds too late. Could have done this much quicker. Much faster. Much faster. We don't have links behind this. If there were links behind this, I honestly believe Cure would be in a bit of trouble because he's massively supply blocked. Roach has now showed up. He's gonna get some kills, or at least gonna, yeah, force this away. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. You have a lot of SCVs that aren't mining here, and you should have a lot of SCVs that aren't mining here. That's exactly what's happening. Now this Marauder's gonna show up defensively. You could probably just send another roach over there and you should be fine. Gonna get some big piles. Doesn't hit the SCVs, which is frustrating. I think this Overlord should actually be killed. Should pop out. Go for it. I think it would be a good play. Roach is gonna stay alive. Morph into a Ravager as a combat shield is on the way. Ravager's now coming from the back. It's kind of like the backup plan, you know? It's hard to fight this. You're gonna need to drop on top of it. Oh, it's gonna go for the base trade. That's fancy. Don't quite know what I think of that. I don't quite know what I think of that at all. But fancy it is for sure. Okay. 2 queens. And he lost a lot of SCVs defensively. This CC is actually in trouble as well. This is a serious drop though, and it's going to kill quite a few of these drones because they have nowhere to go. Roach is now popping out, need to start fighting. Drones still running away. You don't want to turn around with these drones. You don't want to fight with them. It's a single Ravager left over. It's making this building burn and it's taking out a lot of SCVs. These Ravagers are moving back home as well. It's 1 base mining versus, well, 2 base mining really. We have Glio Reconstitution on the way. Loving the target fire here. Loving this attack. Out of cure. This is great. This really is great stuff. Combat Shield's about to finish up as well. With Combat Shield, well, Ravagers now are going to be enough. So this is going to get pushed back. It is 40 workers to 29. I think the Ravager here has finally fallen as well. I have absolutely no idea who's ahead right now. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure because there's no third base yet for Cure. It's obvious to me that right now his army feels neat. It's nice, you know, and this can be abused, this area. We have 2 Ravagers moving across the map once more. 2 tanks are somewhat in position, could siege up. Like all of this entire game is just really weird. It's just weird. So weird. 2 more Ravagers plus Roach. Gonna deal with this drop. 8 drones have fallen in the past half minute or so. 1 Ravager has gone down as well. Like we have just random ragtag groups of units running around. First upgrade is now finally coming in 7 minutes into the game. That is extremely late. There's just no anti-air. That's the problem. We have 3 queens total. Oh! Almost caught that with the biles, which would have been insane. Now he didn't catch it with the biles, so it's less insane. But, you know, it is what it is. He tried. Almost got it. I think we have 2 eBays, right? This is the second eBay I saw. Or is it the first? Oh, it actually is the first. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. This is a really weird game. Oh! Shin here with a disrespect move. Tried to go for a medevac as nothing else was going on. If Cure would have fallen for that, it would have been a bad sign. Shin has like a... This is not a very big army. This is like a pretty crap army, to be honest. Like this army is balls. It really is balls. These biles also look really bad. Like legitimately quite crap. As another set of biles is just going to straight up miss. I think at least 2 Ravagers are going to go down. Another Roach falls as well. Worker count is close-ish. We have upgrades that are going to be pretty much even. Both players working off just a single upgrade structure. Now these biles might hit. Oh, pure. That is sloppy. Shin is ahead in supply, massively. But there's 3 tanks. And it's 50 drones to 46 workers. Like, where are you attacking here? At the front? In the back? I think you have to always go for a combination. You shoot with the Ravagers from a distance at just the miners. I think that's what you're supposed to do. This is insane. This is an insane move. This is crazy. What are we doing here? He misses a bile as well. Actually ends up hitting Marines accidentally. Oh, this is so sloppy. What is he doing? I think there's a mineral patch missing here at this point, so Roaches can move back and forth. We're gonna have this army. Actually, I think it can finally pass, right? Yeah, there we go. It can pass. Single Marine on the high ground here. It's not gonna get a kill, but it still is extremely dumb. Just to wait at all of this loot. We're still working on a single Evo chamber. He kills his own hatchery with the biles. No cancel. They're gonna redrop once again. 66 workers to 53. 140 supply to 116. Baneling nest halfway. No, a little over halfway done. Little over halfway done. Three Ravagers. 4 Ravagers here. I just don't understand at all what is going on in this game. We have so many barracks as well. He's pretty much playing an 8 racks. Except it is 7 racks. So it's not really an 8 racks at all. 7 racks Marauder. This is actually one of the more confusing games. It is so weird. He also has no speed on these links. It's so difficult for me to understand exactly what is going on. That must make it so hard for the players to figure out what their position is as well. Like, I think that they've had these openers before, but a game like this seems rare to me. I guess we're kind of moving into more standard theory. Slowly but surely. Like, once speed finishes on the banelings and the links, who is ahead? I don't know. Maybe. I guess we just look at the supply then. Ooh, this is a good fight though here for Pure. It's gonna actually bang through some of these roaches here. If you look at that. Personal healing is looking tight. Come on, come on. Can't tank these biles there right on the face. We still have no speed on these links, which just looks ridiculous. We're gonna catch up with the medevacs though. We have Hive on the way. Parasitic Bomb and Blinding Cloud is going to be a game changer here. Absolutely. Because it is... there's no second factory, which is a huge issue. There's not going to be any mines, which is actually a huge issue. So, if the first push out, first series push out that Cure is gonna do is gonna walk into Blinding Clouds, I actually think Cure is in a world of trouble. However, if Cure can hit before Vipers are out, I think that that Shin might be in a bit of trouble. He's now getting 26 paints. He has a lot of gas in the bank. Of course, he completely emptied this extractor. This rich Vespine geyser has been sucked dry by the drones. Medevac count is at 7. Worker counts are still very, very close. Also very close. This is an awkward area as well for Ling run bys potentially. Baneling attacks. Like, there's no wall here. Matey. There's also no wall here. This is just a really open area right now. Vipers are on the way. I think Shin needs to wait until he has Vipers. He's gonna send the links around. I don't think this is enough links though. Single tank should take care of that, although no defense in the mineral line. Could cost him a couple of workers. 61 workers to 58. Very often when we see these maxed out fights, we shouldn't forget that the Zerg has 90 drones. Right now, he only has 60 drones. That means that his army is freaking massive. It's huge. It's bananas. Still waiting for that Viper energy. Where are they right now? How close are we to getting it? Oh, we're so close. Does not want to give up this base yet. Needs to set up just a flank as well, though, at the same time. Like, he needs to already prepare for the fight that's about to come. And here comes a Ling run by. I think that's going to force Cure here to pretty much pull the trigger. No, we can't go yet. We can't go yet. We need the Vipers here. We need to come from multiple angles. Shin needs to play this out appropriately. He only gets one chance because his opponent is so freaking close. Here comes a Blinding Cloud. That one's good. Here comes another 2 Blinding Clouds. Do we have more in that tank? I think we might have one more. No, we get an Abduct. We get another Abduct. Shin is gonna clean most of the tanks, but the Banelings have also disappeared. Tanks are gone. Army supply 76 to 79. Infantry armor now finishing up. Adrenal glands finishing up after the fight as well. This is a really awkward engagement still. It's gonna need to morph a couple of Banes. That's exactly what he's doing. Shin right now should be mining more than his opponent, but it's close. It's 55 workers to 46. It is 5 base versus 4 base. There's another minor Ling run by. It's gonna send into the gold base. This is a planetary. There's no planetary here. So this base, I think, could potentially be killed. Banelings here are gonna be huge. Did the Vipers die? They did die. The Vipers did die. Here come Banelings moving in. Do not get connections. You need a higher Baneling count, or you need to be fighting on creep. Maybe an Infestor here could be helpful, but they're not around. 123 supply to 138. And even without tanks, it is starting to smell like a little bit of a Cure victory over here. Has not even started his 3-3 upgrades yet, though. The Banelings are almost gonna get the connections, but not quite. Ravager count is still high as well. And... oh no. Viper. Out of energy. Medevac energy way too high. This Bioforce is gonna rip through. The skip on the 3-3 here. That is a move. Jeez. Louise. GG gets called as Cure wins it. Banging series. Cool strategies all around in this last game. This is not the type of game where you'd say, hey, this is the game of the year. You know, it's too short for it, and it lacked some of the epicness. But this was a freaking fun game with a different type of strategy. The mid-game played out so weird. It was super action-packed. I personally loved it. And yeah, Cure just ends up winning it. Very cool how he managed to kind of stabilize and then knew the exact timing to push. Once again, without that 3-3 research is... I mean, you're on 4 bases, but you're all-inning. That's what you're doing. And losing a couple of workers was okay for him then. The fact that he was mined out and, you know, 2 out of the 4 bases was also fine. And sick show. Really sick show. Love it. It's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, tell the people around you that you love them. See you all next time. Bye-bye.